Hello, I'm Captain Phoenix and welcome to my corner. In this short video, I'm going to present three records, the three latest releases from SAM Records, the Paris-based company. Namely this one, Django Reinhardt, the great artistry of Django Reinhardt, and these two with Bobby Jaspar. One of them is the first time Sam releases this, and the two others have for a long time been sold out, but now they're back in stock at Sam Records. So I hope you will enjoy this video and hang on. The first of these recordings are this one, the great artistry of Django Reinhardt, the French guitar player. It doesn't look very much like him on this photo, but yeah. And this is the fifth release in the Sam Records Artisan series, and that means that the cover is silk screen printed. I don't know if you can see the reflections, and you can feel the different layers of print here on. So this is a deluxe record, the deluxe release. Unfortunately, that means that it cost 110 euros, which is a lot of money, and yeah, but it's manually made here, and there's some fabric on the back side. Don't know if you can see it. So it's a very high quality product. The cover here, and the record comes in an inner sleeve separate kind of cover jacket, also numbered, and the record itself is pressed at the French pressing plant in south of France, which Sam Records uses now, and it's with the original label. It's a 45 RPM. Originally, it was a 10-inch at 33 RPM, but for this release, Fred Thomas told me that they chose to go to 45 RPM and 12 inches to get a better sound quality. And normally I'm not much into 45 RPM versions of original 33 records, but in this case it doesn't change the structure of the record. It's still two sides with 2x4 tunes on it, so we get the same musical experience, but just in a better quality with this 45 here. As you might know, Fred Thomas from Sam Records also adds some extra photo material with his releases. Here we see Django Reinhardt playing, I think it's a little bit earlier, and here we see him again. And if you notice his left hand, you can see two of his fingers are kind of bended, and even though he only had three working fingers on his left hand when playing the guitar, he manages to make incredible things on this record here, as his with a trio. So it's really a very well developed, I think, very much his own technique, and it's standards, most of it. It's Night and Day, and it's Brazil. It's September Song. You see the tracking list here, and some tunes by Django Reinhardt himself. And the reason for this record to be made was that in 1946, Django Reinhardt was on a U.S. tour with Duke Ellington, and as I understand it, that was not very successful for the Django Reinhardt's part of it. I don't think he was very known. So in 1953, in March 53, Norman Granz heard him and saw him in Paris, and suggested that they made a record, and later on a US tour again. So to get him more known, this record was made, and it is the first vinyl record, the first one recorded on tape with Django Reinhardt. So it's the only one, and that's because, unfortunately, Django Reinhardt died very short after this one. This recording was made it was in May 1953, only 43 years old. He had a cerebral hemorrhage, and yeah, So that was at the same time his last record. So it's kind of sad, but it's still a good thing to have it and have it out in a superb quality. It really sounds good. There has been some digital steps involved, as with the other same record releases, but I think this one, as many others, prove that you can make really, really good sounding records, even though there's a digital step involved. The mastering is done by Kevin Gray, and we know that he is a master of doing that. So in any sense, the record is really, really good. But expensive, and I guess that with only 8 tunes on it and 110 euros, it's not for everyone. And I'd like to say here that I've bought and paid for all of these records myself, even though I praise the products from Sam Records every time I make a video on it. It's my own records. I buy them myself. Yeah. The other 2 records here is with Bobby Jaspar. Bobby Jaspar was a Belgian-born flute player and a tenor sax player. He was born in 1926 in Belgium and moved to Paris in 1950. And there he became part of the jazz scene during the 50s in Paris. And he has made a lot of records here and in his own name and also with others. Sam Records has released quite a few of them. But in 1956 he moved to New York, to the States, and really had success there. He was known already and made a lot of records there in his own name and with other big names. He came back to Europe, to Paris, from time to time, and moved back, as I understand it, in 1961 to Paris. Unfortunately, a little bit like Django Reinhardt, he didn't get very old. He died of a heart attack, only 37 years old in 1963. So that's a lot of jazz musicians seem to have very short lives. But what he made is very good, and that goes also for these records. The first of them, or one of them, is this one. With a quartet, and on piano we do have, as you might be able to see, René Utrecher. I think my French is not that good. Also a well-known French jazz player. He worked with Miles Davis on this one here. L'ascenseur pour l'échafaud, elevator to the scaffold. Here we see his name on the cover with Barney Weiland and Miles Davis. So well-known names in the Parisian jazz scene, and this one has been re-released earlier in 2014 by Sam Records, but has been sold out for a long time. And I checked the Discog prices, and this one, I think this one goes for close to 90 euros. So it's a really good thing to have these ones back in print and buying them for a very much more reasonable 30 euros. That's a good thing. There's also extra picture material here of the quintet. And this photo stems from the club Saint-Germain, which also is on the name of the cover, but this is not a live recording. They played a lot at this Parisian jazz club, and so did others. For instance, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. And if you see the background here of Blakey, the curved ceiling there, you can see the same on this image. It's funny. It must be over here to the right. This ceiling, or maybe it's over there. Probably over there. So it's the same place, but it's not a live recording. Here's a photo, and very smart with the French flag colors, tricolore, blue, white, and red. So that was a very famous jazz club in Paris at that time, and Bobby Jaspar played there a lot. On this one, it's He plays mainly the saxophone, though he also plays flute, and it's calm, it's nice, it's a little to the soft and to the slow side, but it's still a very good record. Easy to listen to, not that it's easy jazz or smooth jazz, but it's nice. It's easy to take in, and that same goes for the other one here, where Bobby Jaspar mainly plays the flute. It's a little more lively. It's a little more. It's faster. It's a little more up tempo, and still very very nice. There's a vibraphone, a wipe here by Michel Auxerre, who I do not know, but and that takes its place. So there's a lot of flute and vibraphone on this one, which is not so ordinary on jazz records in general. This is a 1958 recording, so it must have been made during the time when Bobby Jaspar was in New York, but visited Europe from time to time. Also, this one has been released earlier by Sam Records in 2019, has been sold out, goes for plus 60 euros, but now it's back for 30 euros. So again, another good thing. Also here, a little extra picture material, a little later, I think. That's from 59. It seems to focus more on the microphone than on the artist, but it's nice to have this little extra stuff here, and it's really nice to have records in this quality. These ones are pressed by Palace in Germany, and it's made from the exactly same metalwork which the first run of them was. So it's exactly the same records. I spoke to Fred Thomas, and he was not able to get his metalwork to buy them out of Palace Records. So it'll be Palace that makes the reprints of these ones. And as we know, Palace used to make good quality. So I'm very pleased with all three of my records. Though the first one is a little bit expensive, but it's manual work. And I think that's okay. I know from the general price setting of Sam Records, it's not pushed up there, so it's probably what it costs to make these records. There's only five of the 500 made of the Django Reinhardts, as you saw earlier, and there's still here in the end of August. There's still some left, I know, on the web shop and in the physical shop in Paris. Yeah, so a little news from Sam Records, which I'm very fond of, as you might be able to hear. I hope you find it useful, interesting, and I hope to see you back next time. So thank you.